Hi, this is Tim from timradney.com, and in this episode, I'm going to talk about Always Encrypted. Always Encrypted has been available in Azure SQL Database and Azure SQL Managed Instance and SQL Server box version since 2016. So it's been around for a while. I'm slowly seeing more organizations taking advantage of it as they start increasing their security posture. So let's talk about it. Anytime I start talking about encryption with SQL Server, transparent data encryption always comes up. Transparent data encryption is lightweight, it's encryption at rest. It is actually on by default in Azure SQL Database and Managed Instance with newly created databases. For your on-premises or box version, that's something we have to select into or opt into to take advantage of. What are some benefits of TDE? We get encryption at rest. So if anybody gets your backup file and tries to restore it, if they don't have the key, they're not going to be able to restore that database. That's good. It also encrypts TempDB. As I mentioned, it encrypts your backup files, and it is that encryption at rest. What is it not? If I have access to query the database, regardless if you have TDE enabled or not, I'm able to query all tables, see all data. We need something a little bit more secure than that for some very sensitive data, such as credit card numbers, account numbers, social security, things like that. And that's where Always Encrypted comes in. We're now able to encrypt that sensitive data within the database so that only those applications that have the keys can query the plain text data. Now, with Always Encrypted, we have two different types of encryption. We have randomized, so that's going to use a method that encrypts data in a less predictable manner. So think of every encrypted value will get a unique value, versus deterministic, which is going to use a method that will always generate the same encrypted value for any plain text. So on the screen, I have an example of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. As it repeats, it will have the same encrypted value. So that allows us to join or use equality comparisons. So we can, within that where clause, we can use joins, we can where equals this or so forth. We can use distinct, group by, things of that nature, whereas we can't use operators within the randomize. All right, let's take a look at a demo. For this example, I am using SQL Server 2022. As I mentioned, this is available in SQL Server 2016 and above, Azure SQL Database, and Azure SQL Managed Instance. For this, if I refresh my database as I was just stepping through my demo, making sure everything was good, I'm going to create a database called Security. I'll switch over and use Security, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to create a table called Account with Account Num and Account 2 as columns, insert some data, and then I'm going to create one called Account DET for deterministic and insert the same values. So we'll do that real quick, and then we'll select and we'll see that we have account num2 in both tables with the same values. So I wanted repetitive values, so I have all ones repeating 3 times and so forth. All right, let's refresh my databases and let's encrypt these. So I'll go into my database security, go to my tables, right click, encrypt columns. Now this can be done using T-SQL and PowerShell. I'm just stepping through the UI. So in this case, we're going to choose account num, and we'll choose, this one we'll do randomized, and then we'll just take the values. We'll use the Windows Certificate Store, and I could generate the PowerShell script to use later, or just go ahead and execute. So for this demo, we want to just go ahead and step through. You don't want to turn on encryption or try to encrypt very large tables while they're in production. There was a warning message about that. So take the maintenance window to do this, and it is complete. So we'll go ahead and close. We'll go to Account DET. Same process. We will encrypt columns. And we'll do the same account num. This time we're going to do deterministic. All right, since I am on the server that has the key, if I go back and query the 2 tables, we'll still see plain text. I can simulate this. I have a connection here, localhost. The difference with this one, and I'll just kind of step through, when I go to the database connection, under options, my main screen that I've run the demo from, under Always Encrypted, I have this checked. So enable Always Encrypted. For my local host connection, this is unchecked. So let's go there. I'm going to copy this table. I'll go to the local connection, go to security, new window, so I'm in the proper context. We paste, and then let's take a look. So here I am seeing the account num2. We did not encrypt that. We encrypted the account num. So account, the first table, was randomized. So each reference of all ones, these are unique values. I have two all threes, and it's unique. In the deterministic encryption, we can see that all ones are encrypted the same way each time. My threes are the same. My sixes are the same. So when you start playing with or testing always encryption, you need to determine or look at how the business is using that data. So for example, social security number. Here in the United States, that's your unique number issued at the time of birth or time of citizenship or whatever. So with that, how often are you saying where social security number greater than or less than? You're not. It's where equals. So you need to think about how your organization is going to be using the data to know whether randomized is an option or whether you need to use deterministic so that you can use those equality comparisons, where clause, joins, distinct, group by, those types of things. If not, and the data is just being returned, randomized is technically more secure. However, the comment I always like to make is if somebody's already here, they're querying the data, it's kind of already a bad day. With enough time, somebody can kind of break anything, but leveraging Always Encrypted along with dynamic data masking, along with row level security, those things, you're putting layers of defense up. You're slowing them down. So the comment here is evaluate what the business need is, how they're accessing the data to see what type of encryption, whether it be randomized or deterministic, test it thoroughly. It is easy to back out. But like I mentioned, it may take a maintenance window because as you encrypt and decrypt and remove always encryption, you don't need live data, live access going on. With always encryption, there is potential for performance impact. So absolutely make sure that you test this to see what that impact is. So there is a cost associated with it. However, hopefully that cost is not greater than the benefit of securing this highly, highly sensitive data. I hope you learned something new. Thank you for watching, and like and subscribe.